It's so dark, I can't see anything. Oh, I know what. I got my Olight. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this. Perfect. Oh, but I need both hands. Olight, the most ridiculed firearm accessory selection that you can make out there today. Don't believe me? If you buy an Olight and you post about it online, be ready for an influx of passive-aggressive comments about fires, and lights explosion, and people dying. I decided I needed to do research on my own and explore this Olight phenomenon for myself. What happened? Were Olights spontaneously combusting on people? Was there really someone who died? I needed to have the answers to this. Let me start off by saying that we consume so many products from China. China is effectively the world's factory. A huge portion of our goods come from China, and often sometimes our favorite American brands are made there. So does that automatically mean lesser quality? Maybe sometimes, but certainly not as a rule. So where's the line? When we see a very high quality product, do we turn a blind eye to the fact that it was made in China? Some of the brands that make their products in China, you wouldn't quite expect it. Some very large brands, Apple, Ray-Ban, Adidas, Walmart, Nike, 511, Levi's, Hoover, Old Navy. And some of these things get brought up every time you mention Olight. One of the things that gets brought up every time you mention Olight is a very sad incident associated with one of their lights. It wasn't a weapon light, I don't think. A very unlucky gentleman put an Olight in his mouth, and it unfortunately exploded right at that moment, killing him. And in my research, I found that story to be true. The victim's name was Caleb Michael Joyner of Indiana. He was 36 years old, and he owned a remodeling and construction business. The victim pulled over about 8:30 p.m. With an issue with his car in a Lowe's parking lot. And when he put the light in his mouth, it exploded and lodged into the back of his throat. And that's ultimately what killed him. Olight was sued by Michael Joyner's estate, and in the end, Olight settled the case for an undisclosed amount. A couple of things. Olight does not use the batteries that killed Michael Joyner anymore. Those were called Nuon batteries, and now Olight batteries are actually made by Samsung. And but the internet is undefeated, so that story is stuck around, and rightfully so. So in the lawsuit, the victim's estate alleged that Olight knew about the danger and did not warn the public. That's pretty damning stuff. I reached out to Olight for a statement, and the statement I basically said, I'm planning on doing a review of your Balder Mini Light for YouTube. I wanted to reach out to you for a comment about your ongoing reputation problem in the industry with regards to safety and quality control. Nothing bad. Any additional information about changes and upcoming technology would be awesome. I appreciate it. They responded back, Dear Bob Tinkus, I'm glad to hear that and thank you for your support. I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for your support. Hope you can enjoy using our product. Should you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. That's all they said. So that is what it is, I guess. But Olight is one of the biggest light manufacturers out there. In my research, I could not find any statistics with regards to how much revenue they generate in the US or how much market share they have, but I bet it's huge, and I think you would agree with me. Why? Because they offer a product that is more competitive budget-wise, and that's compared to a lot of other brands, making them very attractive to new shooters and new people coming into the industry. They have a very, very aggressive marketing campaign. It's not a secret that Olight pays creators on YouTube to promote their products. A lot of your favorite gun reviewers out there have succumbed to this pressure, and I'm not going to name names. Just do a quick research on quick search on Olight on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of big names out there promoting the product. So what about the product? Maybe we should let it speak for itself. Is it trash? Is it good? Well, a lot of other channels have done reviews of different light manufacturers and put Olight up against all sorts of other lights, measuring things like temperature and battery life and shock and even submersion. And I have to say, it seemed like the Olight performed pretty well with the competition. Some of the other major manufacturers of lights, the most popular actually, failed some of the tests in comparison. So am I going to freeze my light and drop it off a building for you guys? No, I don't have the resources to throw away my money like that, nor do I have a building to throw it off of. The only insights I can provide are from an honest consumer review type of standpoint. I originally got my Balder Mini RL for my FN 509C based off of three things. It was almost half the price of other major brands, $150. I didn't like at the time lights sticking out past the barrel. I didn't know there was a functional reason for that. I also really liked the green laser combo with the flashlight, and again, the price, it's unbelievable. I understand that lasers are important, but I really liked the fact that it was green at the time. Couple of the observations after having owned one of these lights. And again, I'm gonna always kind of give it to you guys straight. The light seems to work consistently, and it's bright enough to get the job done. It's got a push and hold function for momentary presses, or you can turn it on completely. The switch to change between the laser, the light, or the laser and the light is below there's a switch that slides back and forth. I like the design of that, it's intuitive. However, the mechanism that holds the light on seemed to fall off in people's tests. Most of the time you're not going to be dropping it that hard. However, if you do drop your pistol, it's possible your light will just fall right off. So that's another design issue. It's not like the other ones that are directly attached. They have a mechanism that has a little opening or a little a flap that tightens down, a lever that tightens down after you get it set into the kind of the Picatinny rail section. I think the magnetic charging point on this light is a pretty good idea. I have some thoughts on that specifically though, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about the durability. It seems like it's made out of aluminum. It's got a nice aluminum housing. It would be pretty durable. And I know other people have done tests, and it certainly did better than some of the other lights when it came to durability. It's held up so far. So back to the battery. If you're going to be buying an Olight expecting perfection, don't. A single charge will last a good amount of time. You'll be able to probably have 30 proper shootouts.
I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper shootout.
Before you need to recharge. But if you're going to be training at night, let's say you want to go to a night session of training, or you're working in a situation that requires you have a flashlight on your weapon for an extended amount of time, you're not going to want an Olight. You're going to want something that has replaceable batteries. That's going to be a big deal for some of you, but for your average Joe, 30 shootouts should be fine for you. Okay. So is it the end of the world to get an Olight? No. You're getting a product for the money that's pretty decent, and Olight has released a statement that they've fixed their issues. I also should set straight the notion that these lights overheat. Some may, your model might, but in the reviews and tests that I watched, Olight actually performed the best heat-wise. So that's a big misconception. Demolishing Surefire and Streamlight in the temperature arena, it happened. In fact, Surefire in the test watched get hot enough to cause third-degree burns. So what's the big deal? It sounds like the other light manufacturers have issues too. Well, one of the biggest hurdles for American buyers is the fact that this company is Chinese. I didn't even know it was a Chinese company until I got my first light and went on the internet. I certainly see the appeal of only buying American, but man, you would be remiss to dismiss all Chinese products. Remiss to dismiss. No more rhymes now, I mean it.
No more rhymes now, I mean it!
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah!
A great example is HoloSun. I've got 2 of their green dot sites and I actually love them. They are tops. And frankly, some of it is just silly. They're definitely pushing the industry with their solar panels and their reticles and stuff. HoloSun is a great Chinese company to buy products from. You're not a communist for having a HoloSun or an Olight, and you're not a racist for just wanting to buy American. If you want to rule out everything Chinese, though, good fucking luck. Half of the Streamlight flashlights are made in China. Surefire takes pains to say designed and built in the US, but they still have their parts manufactured in China. And before you ask, Mod Light has parts from China assembled in the US. Inforce has parts from China assembled in the US as well. Those are the other 2 major brands. So, OLED is huge. They're certainly here to stay. The real question then is, can they get past the reputation issue and live these stories down? Should they be able to? I think it's important to buy American when you can, to encourage some of these brands to bring American manufacturing, to bring manufacturing back to the US. But let's be real, that's a tall order. There's an argument to say that Americans don't even really want to do that work. So that's another story. My best advice, after having said all that, would be to just try and make a good decision for what's good for your budget. Is OLED gonna recover? Only time's gonna tell, but if they keep selling, does it really matter? If you're new to light buyer and you just post a pic of your gun with the wrong light on it, be ready for the Sure Light stands to bum rush your thread, and also the same time be ready for Olight stands to come out saying, but my lumens are so good. Thanks for watching the channel. I've got a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you're ready when that giveaway happens. And I'm not giving away any BS. Appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the Subscribe Star or the Patreon. Links are down below. Thanks for watching The Tactical Hippie, and I'll see you in the next one.
A shootout, right, is a fucking shootout! Like a western. Wankers